Today, I have the
Ciao.
pleasure of talking to Alberto of Italiano Automatico. And we're going to talk about more than just Italian. We're going to talk about Alberto's interests and how these interests led him to create his Italiano Automatico website and how it helps other people learn Italian. Remember, if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe, click on the bell for notifications. If you follow me on a podcast service, please leave a comment. Okay, Alberto, before we get started, first of all, we just had a conversation in Italian. I'm tired
Yes.
because I never speak Italian, so I was struggling. Now it's Alberto's turn to struggle, although he doesn't struggle in English. Alberto, can you briefly introduce yourself and Italiano Automatico?
Absolutely, Steve. I'm gonna talk very fast because it's a lot of things, and I want to give a short version. So basically,
Right.
first of all, thank you so much for having me here on your channel. It's like a dream for me because you are part of the change in my life. When, after 10 years of studying in school English, I tried one day to watch some movies and watch TV like CNN, stuff like that, and I was curious to see, am I gonna understand something? And my surprise was I'm not understanding much. So after 10 years, and I started typing online, not polyglots, but how to learn languages. And who did I find? Steve, of course. Steve. There was Steve Kaufman, Luca Lampariello, and then I went to the roots of the method and to other people. But really, at the beginning, it was Luca and Steve. And after school, I remember when I was 16, I came back and watched hours, like 7 hours of videos, both from Steve and Luca. And it revolutionized the way I was thinking about not only language learning, but the way things are done in school, that in general, they are not always the best. And it was the first time I was thinking about that, right? And from that period of my life,
Right.
from that period of my life, I started to go deep. I discovered many polyglots, and I thought, hey, let me try learn some languages by myself outside of school. And I tried to learn some French, Spanish, and Romanian outside. And after 1 year, I had a better level in these languages than in English after 10 years. And I also improved my English a lot. I never put effort on improving pronunciation in English because I mostly speak with non-natives, and sometimes it's an effort that you can decide to put or not on improving your pronunciation. But it was more of a choice. And but I saw huge improvements applying what Steve was sharing, and that's when I found also something that I liked at that moment to work out as well and run. And I said, okay, Steve has some videos, for example, interviewing Luca in different languages. Let me listen to a video of Steve in a language I'm learning while I run. So I'm doing three things together. I'm training my body, I'm changing, I'm learning a new language, and I'm learning something new. So three things together. I'm learning how to learn a language, learning Spanish, and training my body. And that's where everything started. And I decided to open Italiano Automatico, which is my channel, where I tried to create content that combines these three things in life. That's it, Steve. Sorry.
You know, I find that very interesting because uh, I read quite a few books on how the brain learns. And in one of these books, it was pointed out
Yes.
that if a parent reads a story to their child, and it's a simple children's story, and the parent is not very interested in the story or they know the story, the child learns less in terms of language from that than if the parent is an expert in, I don't know, nuclear physics or something, but reads something that they are passionate about, that they enjoy. That child will learn more because the child will pick up on the fact that the
Yes.
parent is more enthusiastic, is not bored by what they're reading, but is enthusiastic about what they're reading or what they're saying. And I think what I get from Italiano Automatico is that obviously you are very enthusiastic about learning, about staying fit, and you read widely on the subject, and then you're able to provide advice to your learners so that they in turn are not only picking up Italian, and they're learning something about staying fit or other self-help things, but they pick up on your enthusiasm. in explaining that. And that enthusiasm is going to, if they can learn their Italian from your enthusiasm, and if they're interested in those subjects, they're going to learn much better than if they read some, textbook on Italian. So I think that's a tremendous service. What were some of the examples that you looked at before you set up your own channel?
So nice question, because after I discovered you guys, like in the style of polyglots, really, polyglots channels, I started to improve my languages and learn new ones. So I did need some content that was, as you always say, that intermediate content that is not too easy and boring and not too hard and not understandable, but in the middle, which is compelling and interesting to me. So at that moment, I found, for example, Effortless English for my English, AJ Ho. That's where I learned the 7 rules. I listened to them many times. Then France Authentique, which is my best friend now. We speak weekly, Johan. And I went into this route to learn the languages. Then after 1 or 2 years, I said, hey, why can't I create some content for Italian? And that's how it started.
It's interesting, this idea that not everyone who's interested in learning languages is going to be interested in being fit. However, I would certainly recommend it, because I think that the way our brain learns, there are sort of chemical reactions taking place in our brain, right?
Steve, I love that you mentioned that, because I was this morning, I'm waking up now at 4:15. I usually woke up different times during my life, yes. Either 5, 6, 4:15, mostly. It was that range. And there is a book called The Spark that explains how we learn better during exercise because of the oxygen and everything that you were mentioning.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes. There is a book explaining all that happens, also why you learn better while also exercising. You feel more awake, etc. And I just this morning I was lifting weights, and I was listening to podcasts in other languages, and I felt that I was more alert also to the language. So that's why I really, as you said, I really recommend combining this, working out, learning a language, and learning something new. Because really then, that hour that most people say, I cannot find the hour to do that, I mean, it's the most powerful hour you can have in your day. I mean, 1 hour doing 3 things to improve your life and your day. Because, for example, I listen to a lot of positive also concepts. Not because I don't want to look at reality, but there is so much negativity in the news and everything that I need it, because then I'm more focused also in my day while I work, and I can share a bit of hope and positivity instead of complaints, right? So, and I also learn about business in the podcast, everything that you want. Right now, it's so easy to find content that it's so easy to do also.
There are so many podcasts in different languages on business, marketing, self-help, history, even Rai 2 alle 8 della sera in Italy is a phenomenal source of Italian content. And nowadays we have the option of putting them on an automatic transcription service so that we can get a transcript and bring it into Link. But I used to go jogging listening to I Promessi Sposi, which is hated by all Italian school children. But for me, it was this exotic, 17th century Italy. I loved it. I've gone skiing through, cross-country skiing, listening to Russian novels. And however, you can't be 100%. Like right now, I've discovered kettlebell high-intensity workouts on YouTube. I don't know if you've tried those kettlebell workouts. They're tremendous. But then I have to be watching the YouTube because I have to follow what they're doing. So I can't be listening to my language while I'm doing my kettlebell workouts.
Yes.
But nothing's perfect.
So where, for example, you are in a high intensity workout that you cannot really focus on the language. So it's totally fine. Like also to have either music or to watch the video. But it's more the concept that you always shared of using also your dead time, you say in English, you have your mind free to listen to a language, and you will be otherwise wasting the time. I know many want to stay also in silence. Okay, of course, but a part of that time, for me, it was all of the time, 90%. After I listened to you and Luca, I was obsessed. It was the whole day, listening to things while I was cooking, while I was taking a shower, while
Right.
I was walking on the bus, and you see how much you can learn during the time. It's like it's insane.
You don't have to be 100% concentrated, focused the whole time. That's the other thing people don't realize.
No,
You can be
no.
wandering out, you
Yes.
lose track, you come back in. That's all fine. 60% focus. It's okay.
Especially because the concept is that you're gonna listen to these things multiple times, also to learn the language. So it doesn't matter if you miss 40%.
Right.
It's the learning loop of repetition. So you're not stressed. Oh, I need to listen to everything.
Right.
No, it's going there on the background, and I'm doing my things, and I pick up some things every time. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I recommend to anyone who hasn't started learning Italian or is already learning Italian, please go to Italiano Automatico to get a dose of enthusiasm from Alberto and also to work on your Italian language. Thank you very much, Alberto. Great conversation.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much.